Hi, welcome back to Jen's Jams. I was curious if you've ever gone verb catching. I'm a big fan of verbs and a big fan of language. And one of the things I've noticed is sometimes if you break it down to a word at a time, in this case verbs, sometimes it can really impact how you're being in the world. When I go verb catching, it isn't always something that happens consciously. Because I've been doing it for a while, it can pop up at really interesting moments. And I've noticed that one of the times it does that is when I'm on the beach and I'm walking along the beach and I'm just kind of tapping into the ocean because I love it so much. And something will just come up in me and I'll be like, I'm going to write that in the sand. So I grab the closest piece of driftwood or a shell or a rock or whatever. If I'm desperate, I use my finger, and I will write a verb in the sand. And it might be something like dwell or believe or own or captivate. It can literally be anything, depending on where I'm at and what's going on for me in the exact moment that I'm writing in the sand. But I do get this hit that I need to write something. Another time that I've found myself doing verb catching is when I'm with groups of people that are delving deeper into some aspect of their life. So for example, when I was a small group leader at a family camp and had high school students with me, I would paint verbs on rocks. So I have beach verbs and I have rock verbs. They're often the same, and what I would do is I would bring the rocks with me and then I would hand them out to the students and just let them have their rock and give them the opportunity, if they wanted to, voluntarily, to speak about the rock and say, "Oh, I got the rock cherish. And when I thought about that, I thought about my grandmother and how much she seems to cherish me and, that kind of thing." So they could be used that way. And then another way I used them once, really without even thinking about it, I painted a bunch of verb rocks and I brought them with me to the final retreat of a 4-retreat, 200-hour leadership training. And I knew that I was going to be a co-creator of our closing ceremony for that group. And so on the last day, when I knew we were going to have a talking circle where we would send around something to hold and talk as we took our turn, I put the rocks under people's chairs in the morning, and I didn't say anything about it. I didn't say it was that I was the one that did that or anything like that. I just put them under their chairs. Well, because I knew this group was mighty introspective and so forth, I took the risk that I could look for a time during the day to bring it up and see if those rocks might have had an impact on anyone. So, at the end of the day, when we were doing our talking stick, I said, I'd like to offer a possibility for us as we're checking out today. If people would look at the rock that's under their seat and talk a little bit about anything that came up for them around that rock, the verb on that rock. And it was fascinating. Every single person chose to talk about their verb and brought some kind of correlation into how that verb spoke to them at that point in their journey. And I recall a specific colleague who had a child who had special needs and was on the autism spectrum and was having some difficulty finding housing and having a settled life environment. And my colleague was brought to tears because he had the verb relish. and he talked about how that he was in fact relishing his relationship with his son, with his struggles, with his love for him, with his advocacy for him. And it was just a beautiful moment. And there was no way to know that that would happen or it was possible or whatever, but it just got me really excited to see. It's almost as if the words can serve as a microcosm of spirituality, sort of like a moment of spirituality that's available by just thinking about and dwelling on a verb. So next time you're out on the beach, I dare you to write something in the sand and catch yourself a verb. Have a good day. Bye.